I call to order the regular meeting of Beaverton City Council. City Recorder, please call the roll.
Yes, Council President. Councilor Duggar.
I am here.
Thank you. Councilor Hartmeyer-Prigg.
Here.
Councilor Hassan.
Here.
Councilor Kimmy.
Here.
Sorry, Council President Kimmy. Councilor Teeter.
Here.
Councilor Tivnon.
Here.
And I have the mayor's absent.
Thank you. We'll begin tonight's agenda with visitor comments. Then we will move on to this evening's proclamation, the consent agenda, 1 presentation, 2 public hearings, and council new business. The city requires pre-registration for online and in-person visitor comments at council meetings. Registration closed at 12 noon today. All registration was conducted through the city recorder's office via email or phone in preparation for this meeting. There are 9 people registered to comment at tonight's meeting in person. As a reminder, visitor comments provide the opportunity for the community to speak about matters, even if they are not on the agenda. Visitor comments are limited to 3 minutes for each person. Visitors may state their comments and should not expect the council to engage in back and forth dialogue regarding the comments. As this is the time for the council to hear from the community. If follow-up is needed, our city manager and city recorder are taking notes. So I'm going to start reading the names. Daniel Nielsen, please come up to the microphone and be seated. You have 3 minutes to address the council. We'll start the timer when you start speaking.
All right, good evening, Council. Thanks for letting me speak today. I just wanted to address a few issues in the community, some of which could be addressed at the municipal level, maybe not. But first of which, Sky Parking, which has a parking lot at Southwest Washington Avenue and Southwest First Street. They've got some signage in their lot, but not a lot of it, and there's certain entrances that don't have any signs, and they also don't have any arms or basically they didn't invest very well, in my opinion, in showing the community that it's a regulated lot. However, they do have many cameras that perform photo enforcement, and so I've been staying up to date with it. I've been kind of caught with it myself, but staying up to date with others and that have experienced issues with cameras taking photos, and they had no idea that it was an enforced lot. They get tickets in the mail. So I'm hoping that you guys can at least consider that for maybe addressing in the near future. Because that also, I think, could be really bad, not just for Beaverton residents, but also it could look bad for tourism for people who are visiting, especially as the summer's coming up. And on a similar note, with traffic cameras, for instance, I think, the city and county, we all have, do our due diligence in making sure that the signage is properly there. So why not the private companies do the same thing? For example, down in Tualatin, we've got, I know it's not Beaverton, but there's a traffic photo enforced light. But however, the signage doesn't abide by industry standard under the Uniform Traffic Control Device standards. So for instance, I kind of look at the Sky Parking as a private sector example of the poor management of what's going on down in Tualatin. Anyway, on a similar but different note, I'll keep this quick. And again, this probably isn't so much at the municipal level, but the flashing yellow left arrow lights that we've all seen kind of come into play over the last few years. There's been a lot of increased accidents according to studies, and I think something that hasn't been addressed is it's very hard to differentiate between a flashing left yellow arrow and a solid left or yellow arrow when you're constantly looking up and down and side to side scanning different directions. So I think that might be one reason that we've seen those increased crashes. And so I'm hoping we can address that. Just like back in 2022, I spoke in front of the council in a hybrid sense regarding street racing issues in Beaverton. And unfortunately, just a few months after that, 2 young girls, Aaliyah and Adriana Shelton, lost their lives, not in Beaverton city limits, but out between Beaverton and Hillsborough, out on the Northwest 185th Avenue near Tennisbourne. So just all in all, I'm hoping we can address these traffic issues, especially the parking concerns, since I think that falls a little bit more under the municipal realm. But if you guys can do anything to assist with potentially at least getting the word out about the issues with the left flashing yellow arrow, that would be great. But thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Nicole Langley Peralta. You're up. You can be seated. You have 3 minutes to address the council. We'll start the timer when you're speaking.
Hi, for the record, oh, there goes my pen. I'm Nicole. I'm one of your librarians at the Beaverton City Library, and I'm also the current president of the SEIU union that represents workers here at the city of Beaverton. I'm actually here tonight to talk about some of my coworkers who, while technically not City of Beaverton employees, are considered part of the Beaverton City family, and that is our coworkers who provide janitorial services for the city through a contract with Relay Resources. I'm very excited to see that many of them are here today and that you'll be hearing from them as well. We understand that the city is exploring ending the contract with Relay Resources and pursuing another provider of janitorial services. First of all, I want to say that if there have been issues with the parent company, whatever those issues are, do not reflect upon the employees and the workers themselves. As I mentioned, we consider them to be our coworkers. We see them in our buildings every day, and they do valuable work keeping our spaces clean and welcoming for not only staff, but members of our communities. Relay Resources is a nonprofit that provides meaningful work for people who have barriers to traditional employment. And the city of Beaverton has been an important partner in providing jobs for Relay Resources workers. A decision to end that relationship must be taken very seriously and deserves careful consideration. If the city decides it must end that relationship, we have 3 specific asks. 1, any new contract must offer current Relay Resources workers at the city of Beaverton the option to continue employment with the new contractor at the same or better pay. We know there's precedent for this and that it's possible to write that into the contract. Any new contractor must offer the same or better support for workers with disabilities that Relay Resources does. Any new contractor must also allow employees the opportunity to join a union. If they're not already unionized, a union must be formed as a condition of contracting with the city. I'm here as a tangible example of why it is so important for employees to be allowed to access union services. If our janitorial staff weren't part of SEIU, we might not have known that this was happening. We might not have someone here to be able to speak on their behalf. We'll be following the developments closely and continue to support our coworkers to minimize any impact to them. Again, any issues with the parent company, we want to emphasize are not the fault of the workers and they shouldn't suffer because of that. We hope that you'll take any steps you can to maintain the contract with Relay Resources, but if it comes to it, please let us know how we can help create the best contract for our coworkers.
Thank you. Jeremy's sister, please come up to the microphone. Jeremy's sister, Sizer. Oh, no one. All right. Mason Crowthwaite. You have 3 minutes to address the council. We'll start the timer when you start speaking.
Go ahead. Yeah.
My name is Mason Crossway. I've worked with the Beaverton Police for 8 years now. I've loved working there ever since I started. I've always been a big fan of like gumshoe detective movies, and working at the safety center is like basically having a backstage pass to something I'm really passionate about and love in that whole world. I get along with everyone and feel like I am part of that community. When I was recently invited to the police awards ceremony, it felt like being literally like at a family reunion for me. And it was a lot of fun to see all these people and faces I hadn't got to see over the years and reconnect with people. So as a non-union janitor, non-union janitor companies have a much higher turnover rate, and buildings cleaned by non-union janitors have reported problems of theft. Even if the law would require a non-union janitor company to pay us the same wages we're making now, that doesn't mean the non-union company would pay other janitors at that rate. And there's no guarantee we'll get raises to keep up with the cost of living. In contrast, I was given a medal of special recognition when I found a wallet and returned it. The wallet had $800 in it, and there was even a newsletter article written about me. I'm the kind of union janitor that you want cleaning a building like the police department because it's a very, secure building and all that. If the city doesn't like relay service and wants to use a different janitorial company, you should use a union janitorial company. That would mean that janitors like myself would be able to keep all their benefits and have no gap in medical coverage and would continue to have job protection and raises to keep up with the high cost of living. Now, on a personal note, I just wanted to add before I stop that going with a non-union company is going to also cut short connections and friendships that I've been cultivating with the officers and staff at the Beaverton Police Department for the past 8 years. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Irene Cortez Angeles. Please come up. You have 3 minutes to address the council.
Hello, my name is Irene Cortez Angeles. My testimony is 3 minutes long, and I have a disability, so I'm hoping you will let me read my full statement. I have worked for Relay for over 3 years cleaning the Beaverton City Library. I live 4 blocks from the library. Due to my anxiety, I was scared to speak today, but I'm doing this for my 2 little brothers. My brothers are 5 and 7 years old. Both of them are disabled. One has a speech delay and a learning disability. The other one was recently diagnosed with autism. My little brothers mean everything to me, and my job at Relay is what gives them a safe place to live. As a Beaverton resident, I'm asking you to either keep the cleaning contract with Relay Resources or choose a different union company. You may not understand how important it is to have a union if you don't have a disability or are not an immigrant like me, but it is extremely important for workers like us. I came to the United States as a 3-year-old, and I'm a DACA recipient, or as we all call, a dreamer. I have to renew my paperwork every 2 years, and every time it is a lot of work. You have to work with lawyers and pay fees and wait for months. Last time my renewal took over 7 months, and even though my new work permit was valid starting on the last day of March, I didn't receive it until the first week of May. A non-union job, you would just get fired. If you or all work permit ran out and your new hadn't arrived yet. If you're lucky, they might hire you back, or they might not. If they did, you will still have to start all over. My union contract protects my job and my seniority if I have a delay like this. I couldn't work until the next work permit comes, but I could get my job back and the benefits I have earned as soon as it does. This is just one way that having a union contract is important for Beaverton residents who clean Beaverton buildings. The city will not be acting in the best interest for disabled Beaverton residents like myself and my little brothers if you start using a non-union contractor. Please reconsider. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Travis Sturgis. You have 3 minutes to address the council.
My name is Travis Sturgis. I'm a Beaverton resident and janitor of the Beaverton Public Safety Building. I have a disability, so I am asking to be given the 3 minutes that I'm given to read my statement. I have worked for Relay, which used to be called PHC, for 17 years. For the last 3 years, I've been at the Public Safety Building. I really got along with all the city staff and police there. And the building is close to where I live. I'm here today to request that the city of Beaverton does not switch to a non-union contract for our janitorial services. Many of the managers and supervisors at Northwest Success used to work for PHC. The ones who went to Northwest Success did not like that we had a union because it meant that they could not write up us for fire unless it was fair. I remember when PHC started using a new clock-in system. I was having trouble figuring it out, and the first time I made a mistake clocking in, the manager, who is now at Northwest, gave me a write-up. I am worried about myself and others. Disabled workers not having job security and safety from unfair write-ups. I would also be hard to lose 17 years of seniority. I worked hard for the 17 years, and my seniority gives me extra pay and more vacation. It would be really hard to start all over. I would especially hard start over earning my medical benefits and be without medical coverage for a few months. Before I qualify with that non-union company, I get grand mal seizures, and I need my medication to keep that at bay. I also ordered a 3-month supply, so if a non-union company takes over in a month, that will mean that I won't have medical insurance when it is time to refill my prescription. Last time I checked, the price of my medications without insurance was $1,200 for a 2-week supply. There's no way I can afford that. I am asking the City Council to step up and make sure that the Facilities Department does not make something that will undercut the job security and benefits of Beaverton residents like myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Maria Valentin, please come up to the mic. You have 3 minutes to address the council.
Hola, Betty y miembros del Consejo Municipal. Yo que ocupo tiempo para la interpretación, les estoy pidiendo que me den los 3 minutos, por favor, si es posible.
Hi, Mayor Beatty and council members. Since I need time for interpretation, I'm requesting to be given the full 3 minutes, if that's possible.
Gracias por estar aquí, por darnos la oportunidad de escucharnos, ya que a ustedes, el Dios del cielo y de la tierra, les ha dado el gran privilegio de tomar serias decisiones y Él espera lo mejor de ustedes, ya que esta decisión afectará nuestras vidas, ya sea para bien o para mal.
Thank you for being here, for giving us the opportunity to be heard. God of heaven and earth has given you the great privilege to make weighty decisions, and He expects the best of you, since this decision that you will make will affect our lives for better or worse.
Ustedes hoy día tienen el gran honor de hacer la diferencia.
And today, you have the high honor of being able to make a difference.
Yo, María Valentín, llevo 18 años trabajando para Relay.
I, Maria Valentin, have worked for Relay for 18 years.
Yo no tengo quejas de ellos siempre que, por ejemplo, me siento enferma, ya que mi artritis me dificulta mucho venir a veces a mi trabajo en Relay. Son muy comprensivos conmigo, tantos problemas que tengo de salud y mi edad, sería muy difícil conseguir un empleo y aquí en Relay me siento contenta.
I don't have complaints about them. For example, when my arthritis flares up and I'm in too much pain to come to work, they're very understanding. With all the health problems I have and my age, it would be difficult to find a new job, and I'm happy here with Relay.
Tengo miedo de que si no tengo la protección de la unión para mi trabajo, la nueva compañía que me va a correr, reemplazar con alguien más joven o rápido.
I'm afraid that if I don't have the protection of the union, the new company will replace me with somebody younger and faster.
Tengo necesidades médicas y tengo miedo de estar sin seguro médico por 2 o 3 meses si la ciudad cambia a una contratista que no tiene la unión.
I have medical needs, and I'm scared of being without medical insurance for 2 or 3 months if the city changes to a non-union contractor.
Recientemente fui a urgencia y me dijeron que tengo una arritmia del corazón.
I recently went to urgent care and was told that I have a heart arrhythmia.
Tengo una cita para un examen profundo la semana que entra. Después de esto ocuparé más tratamiento.
I'm scheduled for a comprehensive heart evaluation next week, and after that I'll need further treatment.
También ocupo mi seguro médico para mi artritis, depresión y ansiedad.
I also need regular care for my arthritis, depression, and anxiety.
Con todo esto me daría mucho miedo estar sin seguro médico.
With all of this, it would be really scary to be without medical insurance.
No creo que debo parar con mis tratamientos para mi arritmia por 2 o 3 meses, pero no puedo pagar los $768 al mes que cobran.
I don't think I should put my heart arrhythmia treatment on hold for 2 or 3 months, but I can't afford to pay $768 per month for Cobra.
¿Qué pasaría si tuviera una emergencia durante este tiempo?
And what would happen if I had an emergency during that time?
Este día yo les pido a ustedes que por favor tomen en cuenta nuestras necesidades,
Today, I'm asking that you take our needs into account.
ya que para mí y mis compañeros de relay que tienen también incapacidades se les haría muy difícil conseguir un nuevo trabajo y mantenerlo.
For me and my relay coworkers who also have disabilities, it would be very hard to find a new job and to keep it.
A nombre de todos mis compañeros y trabajadores que trabajamos aquí en Relay, les pido que tengan compasión de nosotros este día y Dios les da esta gran oportunidad a ustedes de hacer hoy la diferencia, de protegernos a los huérfanos y a las viudas. Muchas gracias por escucharnos.
In the name of all my relay coworkers, I ask you to show compassion for us. Today, God is giving you the important opportunity to make a difference, to protect the needy and the poor. Thank you for hearing us.
Thank you. Anna Roberts.
That's me.
Oh, you have 3 minutes.
So, Mayor Beatty, council members, my name's Anna Roberts, and I'm a lead organizer with SEIU Local 49, a union that represents about 14,000 workers in Oregon and Southwest Washington. I've worked with janitors employed by Relay Resources for the past 18 years. As you heard from the janitors who clean the city buildings, we were dismayed to learn about the decision to terminate the janitorial contract with Relay Resources and the intent to switch to Northwest Success on July 1st. Workers in the janitorial industry are more vulnerable to abuse and exploitation because of the solitary nature of their work, most of which is performed at night when buildings are otherwise empty. As you've heard from Relay janitors today, having a union contract is a model that works for them and is particularly important for immigrant workers and workers with disabilities. Janitors have negotiated valuable benefits over many years which support them and their families and which union employers cannot simply take away to cut costs. The union contract also contains fair work rules that allow janitors to raise concerns and advocate for changes that ensure a more just workplace. All of this is at risk if you switch to a non-union janitorial contractor. State law requires an incoming Oregon Forward contractor to maintain current wages and medical benefits, but does not protect other important benefits and job protections that City of Beaverton janitors have right now. It doesn't ensure that workers will receive a cost of living raise or that their medical benefits won't be reduced down the road. The law doesn't do what's necessary to protect disabled and immigrant workers from mistreatment or abuse. Other government agencies here in Oregon have adopted policies to maintain job quality and standards during contractor transitions. As the council, you have the authority to set such a policy to guide the city's approach to procurement of services. We ask that city staff pause the process of transitioning to a new janitorial contractor to allow council to first set standards to protect the janitors cleaning your buildings and the value of the services provided. Specifically, we encourage the city to adopt standards for job quality and corporate responsibility as outlined in an email sent to you yesterday by my colleague Yasmina Ibarra. Moving forward with the current plan would contradict the City of Beaverton's values and undermine the decades of work by janitors to create safer, fairer, and more sustainable jobs that support themselves and their families. Please take action now to ensure a wise choice for the next company to maintain City of Beaverton facilities. Thank you.
Thank you. Del Ruiz, please come up to the podium. You have 3 minutes to address the council.
Hello, council members, mayor. I'm here just kind of real quick to ask for your guys' for your all's assistance and help in getting a public records request from the Beaverton Police appealed, or my access to it. Unfortunately, I'm not anti-police, I'm not anti-law enforcement, I don't have a record, I don't have any reason to be anti-law enforcement. Unfortunately, in my situation, I was not given a fair chance by a few local Beaverton police officers, and I asked the Beaverton Police for a fair investigation into my matters, into my concerns, and unfortunately, I was basically obstructed. The police took it on themselves to file my complaint, investigate, do whatever. I say whatever because I have no idea what happened. There's a long trail of possible misconduct involving the destruction of evidence, a lack of following of Beaverton police policy, and I'm trying to just get some transparency into knowing what happened with my investigation. I'm not going to get into the details of everything else. I have plenty of evidence sitting on police body cam footage and the Beaverton police records. I've actually discovered a lot of it. A lot of it was actually withheld from a trial that led to a wrongful conviction. That's a whole nother issue. But what I am asking for your help is to just get access to this professional standards complaint. The reason the Beaverton police said that they cannot allow me access to it is because there was no discipline. So I'm not sure how to get a fair investigation. I'm not sure how to get a fair investigation. That's kind of pretty much all I'm asking for. I will follow up with the city through email with more information. I'm asking you all to take me serious. All I want is somebody to tell me that, you know what, you're wrong. The police did everything fine. That's it. That's fine. But if I've not had anybody take me serious or investigate or care for the fact that my rights were violated. And it's taken me almost 10 months. And I've discovered so much evidence that shows this. I even have the DA now responding to a complaint that I filed backing up my claims. So I'm just asking for a fair shot, and I'm asking for my rights to just be respected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes our visitor comments for this evening. Next, we have one proclamation to read this evening. Councilor Duggar, will you please read the proclamation?
Sure, thank you. This is a proclamation for Pride Month. So, whereas the City of Beaverton is committed to diversity, equity, inclusion, and mutual respect as fundamental aspects of a healthy community, and whereas the presence, visibility, and celebration of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual plus community enhances the quality of life in the City of Beaverton, and whereas the LGBTQIA plus community has been the target of discrimination and violence based on gender, sexual orientation, identity, and perceived identity, which conflicts with Beaverton's core values as a community, and whereas LGBTQIA plus rights are human rights, and whereas this country has witnessed a significant amount of anti-trans legislation that seeks to regard the LGBTQIA plus community as lesser, and whereas gay pride events are intended to celebrate visibility and diversity, as well as educate and foster engagement, and whereas the City of Beaverton strives to be a welcoming and safe place where people, families, and institutions thrive, and the contributions of all are celebrated and valued, and whereas the City of Beaverton's support for LGBTQIA plus Pride Month reflects a commitment to being an ally and supporting marginalized people's rights to love, joy, and expression. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Beaverton, Oregon, do hereby proclaim June 2024 as LGBTQIA plus Pride Month in the City of Beaverton.
Correct.
I think, Kate, you're going to come up and accept, and then we'll get some photos with everyone?
Right. Yes.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, come on up.
Friends, it's been a year, it's been a bit. You'll notice this year that I am wearing a whole lot less rainbow. I want to tell you, on one side of our coin, we are going to have the biggest and the bestest pride Beaverton's ever had. We have more sponsorship dollars coming in. We have participation. We have incredible numbers of paraders, and we are expecting in excess of 15 1,000 people, which makes us the largest event in the city's calendar. Then I want to talk about the other side of the coin. The side of the coin that makes me want to cry, and that's performative allyship, that's bullying, that's some of the stuff that's happening in our community. In 2 days, one of my children will graduate from high school. 2 weeks ago, one of my children got engaged to their partner, and my 17-year-old is just 6'2" and doing his best to eat everything. 2 of my children are queer, and they have asked me if I will tone it down. Because the bullies, because the hate crimes, because of the danger of showing who you love. Nationally speaking, hate crimes against transgendered and gender nonconforming people is up 32%. We are a nation that is being run by bullies. And I don't mean like literally you guys are bullies. I mean the bullies that go into Target and rip the rainbow stuff off the shelves and throw it on the floor. And so what does Target do? They reduce the number of materials they made this year. They reduce access to online shopping only. Now, they were trying to protect their workers, but what message does it give to the queer kids? What message does it give to the queer community? So when I come to the city, which is all the time, and I get told, hey, we're not going to poke the bear. There were death threats about that at another city's library. Or it's always been done this way, or no, you can't be on the loop because of this. And guys, instead of, hey, we don't want to shake the tree, how are you going to protect us once you do? The queer community represents 10% of your population. I'm not feeling very pridey. We're 7 years in, and it's harder than ever. The hatred, the vitriol, the stuff. But again, I speak to kids, I speak to communities, I speak to these children, and all I want to do is say, hey, you're going to be okay. But now more than ever, I can't be sure you're gonna. My daughter won't put a rainbow sticker on her car. She won't put the flags out. She's like, yeah, if I'm in a group or if we're this, and safety first. I mean, it's so sad. So yes, thank you so much for declaring it LGBTQIA Pride Month again. And I love it. But that whole, and I hate the word performative, but like, guys, you can take off the rainbow, and I don't wear it so you know who sleeps in my bed, but I wear it so that the kids on the street know who they're safe with. And I need you guys to be safe with me in the cubicles when you know that there's a Jerkosaurus working 3 cubicles down that's actively working against progress. When you see somebody bullying somebody else and you go, oh, I'm not sure, I think you're all aware that I took one for the team standing up to a bully. And all I want is my kids to be able to love who they want. This isn't a huge ask. But I have an 18-year-old that I'm sending across the country, and I'm scared. For the first time ever, I'm scared. I'm nervous. And so what I need is allyship, but I need like aggressive allyship. I need plans, and I'm asking, hey, okay, so let's have a drag queen book reading. And not cow to the bullies when they say, we're gonna blow you up. No. We'll arrest you, we'll find your IP address, we'll do this stuff, we're gonna pursue. If they throw the pride gear all over the floor, arrest them. Like we need, or do something aggressive where we say, no, we will not be bullied. I know that here, like the chief and I were just speaking, and here, it's not as bad. We're in a bubble of beauty. But it's still bad, and it's underreported, I promise you. There's just the snide comments and the crap I get. Ugh. Anyway, welcome to June. I hope by the end of things, like the end of the month, I will see you all
and I hope you think a hard lot about some of the people that sit in your building that they don't need to work with me, but I'd love it if half of them would stop working against, because our community needs it. My kids need it. Sure. Get up here. Let's go. I gotta go to grad and do days and all this stuff.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm standing right next to you. They usually make me stand in the back. Come on in, come in. Should we go back? Yeah, let's go back to the dais. Yeah, it's a little bit easier to take a photo.
It's all fun and good.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. One for the socials. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. I wanted to take a minute, and I got permission from Council President to do so. My husband, Eric, and I lost a very dear friend in April of this year. He was my husband's best friend for 20 years. He was the best man at our wedding. He was a proud gay man. He was an ally to the cause, and he was one of the greatest people I've ever met. I'm celebrating this month in his honor, and I had the privilege of sitting up here, so I wanted to take a moment to read his name into the record. His name was Jesse Yeager from Orlando, Florida, and the world is a less bright and wonderful and kind place because he's no longer in it. But I was very grateful for the time that I got to know him, and I'm better for having known him. So thank you very much for giving me the time to do that. I really appreciate all of you and everyone in this room, and thank you to everyone who came out to help us mark this occasion and to let us know that the work is not done.
Thank you. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, Council, oh, go ahead. I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, it has been moved by Councillor Hartmark Prigg and seconded by Councillor Hassan. Are there any comments on the motion?
I have one comment. Page 3 of the February 21st, 2023 minutes. Page 3, bullet 2 says, reduce housing regulations such as eliminating height minimums or increasing floor area ratios. I'm going to change the word minimums there to be maximums to reflect the recording. Just a one-word correction, if that's okay with the council.
Yes.
Do we need to formally do anything?
I think what you would say is, hearing no objections, the minutes will be corrected and we'll approve them as amended by that correction. But
Go ahead.
I'm going to help teammate out.
Yeah.
We heard no objections from the council on Councilor Teeter's amendment, and so the record will be reflected upon adoption of this, that the minutes will be reflective of the change.
And then you can just proceed to approve in the normal course.
Okay. So if there's no other comment, City Recorder, please take the vote by the roll call.
Counselor Duggar,
Yes.
Counselor Hartmayer Prigg,
Yes.
Counselor Hassan,
Yes.
Counselor Kimmy,
Yes.
Counselor Teeter,
Yes.
Counselor Tivnon,
Yes.
Mayor Beatty.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So next item on the agenda is a presentation. Presentation is regarding the accreditation to the Beaverton Police Department and will be given by Scott Hayes, the Northwest Accreditation Alliance Executive Director. When the presentation is done, each counselor will have the opportunity to comment on the presentation and ask questions of the presentation. Mr. Hayes, you may begin when you are ready.
I am I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, super. Good evening, Mayor, councilors, and members of the community. My name is Scott Hayes. I am the Executive Director. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got a pop-up. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. Things keep popping up. So I'm the Executive Director for the Northwest Accreditation Alliance. I appreciate the opportunity to address the council and present the Beaverton Police Department with its 7th award of accreditation under the leadership of Chief Stacy Jepson. Law enforcement is experiencing a changing society with increased demands for police accountability and transparency. As in the past, our profession must face these challenges and work with our communities to address their concerns. Accreditation is one step towards building community trust and the legitimacy of our profession. The Northwest Accreditation Alliance was formed under the direction of the Oregon Association of Chiefs of Police, the Oregon State Sheriff's Association, and the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials, and provide accreditation services for 94 law enforcement and communication centers. Our mission is to promote the highest ethical and professional standards in law enforcement throughout the state. Accreditation goals are straightforward: to support the continued improvement of law enforcement services, to establish best practice through professional standards, to establish agency accountability and transparency, and to enhance the management of overall operations. For the Beaverton Police Department to become accredited, it had to adhere to 108 law enforcement standards. Compliance is generally in the form of policies and procedures and adherence to Oregon revised statutes, Oregon administrative rules, and city policy. Our standards are established based on best practice nationally and through changes in federal and Oregon law. In addition to each of the 108 standards, the agency must show proof of compliance that it is following policy and best practice. Then reaccreditation occurs every 3 years after. This is a monumental step for any agency to be evaluated by an outside independent organization and have its policies and practices scrutinized. I know several staff members were involved in the process, but I would also like to recognize the efforts of Accreditation Manager Michelle Harrell and Assistant Accreditation Manager Leah Wolf, who worked diligently to prepare the agency for their review. Chief Jepson, on behalf, and City Council, on behalf of the Northwest Accreditation Alliance and its Board of Directors, I congratulate you on receiving your 7th award of accreditation.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments that any councilors want to make? No. Thank you for the presentation and for being here tonight. We'll move on now to our public hearing. The next item on the agenda is the public hearing on Resolution 4874, a resolution adopting the budget for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2024, making appropriations and determining, making and declaring ad valorem tax levy as provided by ORS 310.0602. For this item, I will soon open a public hearing on a budget, including on the city's proposed uses of state shared revenue. Then we will hear a short presentation from the City Finance Director on the budget as approved by the city's Budget Committee. After the staff presentation, I will open the floor to any comments from the public on the budget or on the city's proposed uses of state shared revenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this hearing should follow the instructions included on tonight's agenda. Each person who speaks at tonight's hearing has up to 2 minutes to speak. When you speak, please give your name and city of residence for the record. After each person's comments, council members may ask questions of the speaker. At the conclusion of all comments, I will close the public hearing, and then council can begin deliberation on proposed resolution number 4874. I now open the public hearing on the city budget and the city's proposed uses of state shared revenue for fiscal year 2023-2024. We will first hear a short presentation from the city's finance director, Debbie Lochner.
Good evening, Mayor, Council President, and councilors. Just real briefly, we'll just going to go through process with you. I'm not going to redeliberate the budget that we spent a couple meetings at the Budget Committee going over. So if you go to the first slide, on May 14th, the Budget Committee approved the fiscal year 2024-25 operating and capital budget and the use of state shared revenue. The next one. So the fiscal year 2024-25 budget, that's a lot of 20s. The Budget Committee approved the operating and capital budget. It's approximately $467.8 million. The operating and capital budget is comprised of several funds, including but not limited to the general fund, the library, the street fund, storm, sewer, water, and capital funds. And we have many more too. The approved general fund budget is $110 million, and in this budget we did close a $7.7 million gap, or shortfall. When we first put the numbers together and you compared revenue to expenditures, there was a $7.7 million shortfall of revenues. In the library fund, it's a $12.9 million budget, and in that budget, we also had to close a $1 million shortfall, but we did that without changing the services that are being provided. And we did use a little bit of fund balance to do that. So if you go to the next slide, and just to let you know, the benefits of approving these two things tonight means that the city can continue to operate and receive the revenue from the state, that we have to meet certain criteria to receive state shared revenue. We do meet those criteria, so we're asking the council to approve the operating and capital budget as well as the uses of state shared revenue. And so with that, if you go to, the uses of state shared revenue, really, the numbers were up there, but I'm sorry, skip that one. So staff is recommending, if you just go to the last slide, that you adopt the budget and that you approve the use of state shared revenue.
Thank you. Do any councilors have questions of the finance director? Yes. Councilor Duggar?
I did see that we're going to potentially have an amendment regarding the playground, and I thought we had FEMA money coming for that. Is that not the case anymore? Or maybe there was talk about that and that wasn't a thing?
It didn't rise to the level of FEMA reimbursement, and it also was not on the list of covered structures in our insurance,
thing.
So
okay.
That is why we have to rebuild it.
Got it. That was my next question. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay, Mayor?
I just want to comment to Councilor Duggar as well, since I've been pushing the city manager on this topic. I think in the amendment was a shared discussion between the staff and I earlier in the week when we found out FEMA money wasn't coming. This is one of the few free sites in the city during the summer. With the splash pad, it's a free and reduced lunch site for the school. It's our #1 utility used. Over 10,000 people a weekend visit the farmer's market, and it's become basically Beaverton's living room. And so while unusual to bring an amendment at this stage, given that it was after the budget committee had met that we received this information, I asked staff to make this one-time exception to move something like this forward, as this is an essential community need, in my opinion, to make sure that our young people that are getting often their only meal of the day also have a recreational aspect that joins them. And given we did such measures to build the fountain back under the same criteria, I think it's a willing effort that we move this consideration forward tonight.
Anyone else who wants to make comment? No. I will now open the floor to any comments the public has on the city budget as approved by the city's budget committee or the city's proposed uses of state shared revenue for the fiscal year 2024-25. City Recorder, is there anyone wishing to speak on the proposed budget or on the city's proposed uses of state shared revenue?
No, sir, there is not.
Okay. There appears to be no member of public who wishes to comment on this matter tonight. I will now close the public hearing on the city budget and the city's proposed uses of state share revenue. Before we begin deliberations on the budget as approved by the budget committee, we will need a motion and a second to adopt the proposed fiscal year 24-25 budget. I know there is at least one proposed amendments to the budget committee's approved budget. Once the main motion is made and the seconded to adopt the budget as approved by the budget committee, we will consider that proposed amendment. If the amendment is moved and seconded, we will discuss the proposed amendment and then vote on it. Once the proposed amendment either carries or fails, we will then consider any other proposed amendments in a similar way until all amendments have been fully considered, one at a time. Is there a motion to approve resolution number 4874 to adopt the proposed fiscal year 24-25 budget?
I move the council approve resolution 4874A, a resolution adopting the budget for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2024, making appropriations and imposing, categorizing, and declaring ad valorem property tax levies as provided by ORS 310.0602.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Yeah.
Okay. We don't have a meeting in chambers in 4 or 5 weeks, and we forget how to type our names, and yeah. I just want to thank and acknowledge all the work. I think that the budget committee process just went so well. Everyone really showed up prepared, staff and committee members included, and you made a very complex thing easy for us to understand, and you showed us the work that is happening this year and set us up for the work that's coming beyond. And so while we are in, a hard cycle of Beaverton budget, I feel really good about the budget that is being put forward this year. So I just want to say thank you to staff, to everyone that had a piece in that, and I'm looking forward to voting yes on this budget.
Hassan, Councilor Hassan? No.
I was just going to ask if you need me to make the amendment. Okay. To fund the replacement of I wanted to make an amendment to fund the replacement of the playground equipment in City Park. I move that Exhibit A to the budget resolution be amended by increasing the appropriation for the capital outlay category of the Category Development Fund number 301 by $225,000 and increasing the appropriation for the General Funds Department non-departmental by $225,000 and decreasing the General Fund contingency non-departmental by $225,000.
Second.
Second. It has been moved by Councilor Hassan and seconded by Councilor Duggar to approve the motion to fund the replacement of playground equipment at City Park, and that we'll refer to as Amendment Package 1. Is there any discussion regarding Amendment Package 1?
Yeah, I've just
Yeah, Kevin.
Thank you. I've just got one comment I'll make about it. This is a pretty substantial chunk of funding. It is a very well-used site and facility, so I'm going to support it. And I also feel like one of the reasons why I'm going to support it is because it comes out of the contingency fund, which feels like it's meant specifically for this purpose. One-time use of funds, so it's not meant to be ongoing every year. And so I feel comfortable doing this, and I think it'll be something our community really appreciates too.
Councilor Tivnon?
Thank you. I agree with Councilor Teeter. I think that given the fact that all other sources of income or funding, I should say, to help fix this were exhausted before we considered this, makes sense. And the fact that it's coming after the deliberations, I feel more comfortable at supporting the amendment. I also have a feeling that the vice mayor is going to be in support of this as well. My own kiddo is 14, so he's not going to get a lot of enjoyment, but I have seen plenty of kids that kind of wander around that area wishing that the play structure was back. And just as we're heading into summer, I doubt we're going to see it this summer, but it'll be great to celebrate having a new play structure, I'm guessing by hopefully 2025.
Mayor Beatty?
Thank you, Councilor Hassan, for moving that amendment. I don't have that paperwork in front of me today, but I do want to tell the council that Jenny and I are also going to continue to look down other avenues to fund it, but we just knew getting it in now meant the speedy, potentially summer delivery. I've been pushing our team here to move as fast as possible, but this is a requirement of that was for us to approve the funds tonight to do that. And so we're going to continue to look, but just so everyone knows, I actually thought that this park was under THPRG's jurisdiction and called Alfredo Moreno, the board president, and had my daughter complain to him that the park wasn't up after the storm. So I had to eat crow, call and apologize, and get to work on our end to get the money going for this. And so I think other people had similar assumptions that this wasn't a park that we operated because the THPRD signed. So it's a good reminder that it takes all levels of government to work together. And I'm also hoping that staff will put up a sign telling people that a replacement is coming.
Councilor Duggar?
Yeah, no, I completely support the amendment, no surprise. But I do want to, separately, I do think I would be interested in maybe having a conversation around what insurance looks like. There's a lot of pine trees around that, and I hope we don't lose any more. It's a magical place, but I think that might be a smart decision for us to look at in the future to get an insurance on that building. So thank you.
Councilor Hartmeyer Prigg?
Thank you. I just wanted to first say it's always good to acknowledge when we're wrong. So I'm proud of you, Mayor. But I think, you know, that the council a couple years back had to choose to make the investment in the fountain, and it was a hard decision then to invest $1 million into the fountain and the splash pad. But to me, I see this as a continuation of that investment in such a critical place that our community gathers. And so I agree, Councilor Teeter, it's hard. This is like a pretty large amendment, and I appreciate City Manager and Mayor continuing to look for other sources to see if there's a way to backfill that contingency. But it seems just really important for our community that we put this money back into restoring that place.
Thank you. Yeah, one comment I have is that I wanted to call shotgun on the first ride, but I think I'm beat up by the vice mayor, so I yield to vice mayor for first ride. Thank you. Any other comments? No? All right. Recorder, we are ready for a vote on Amendment Package 1. Would you please call the vote by roll?
Mayor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Tivnon?
Yes.
Councilor Teeter?
Yes.
Council President Kimmy?
Yes.
Councilor Hassan?
Yes.
Councilor Hartmeyer Prigg?
Yes.
Councilor Duggar?
Yes.
Yes. All right, does anyone have any other budget amendments to propose? Motion carries. Okay. I thought you were supposed to do that.
No.
Okay. There appears to be no other amendments to be proposed. We are now ready for a vote on the motion to approve the Resolution 4874 as amended by Amendment Package 1. City Recorder, would you please call the vote by roll?
Counselor Duggar?
Yes.
Counselor Hartmayer Prigg?
Yes.
Counselor Hassan?
Yes.
Counselor Kimmy?
Yes.
Counselor Teeter?
Yes.
Counselor Tivnon?
Yes.
Mayor Beatty?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll now move on to the next agenda item, which is Agenda Bill 24-049, relating to Resolution Number 4875, a resolution declaring the city's election to receive state revenue for fiscal year 2024-25. Earlier this evening, the city held a public hearing in connection with the adoption of the city budget, where Beaverton citizens and residents had an opportunity to address the council with any comments or questions regarding the city's proposed use state shared revenues. Now the requested action is for the council to adopt resolution number 4875, declaring the city's election to receive state revenue for fiscal year 2024-25. Is there a motion to that effect?
Yes, Council President. I move that the council approve Resolution 4875, a resolution declaring the city's election to receive state revenues for fiscal year 2024 to 25.
Second?
I'll
Do I have a
second.
Okay. Okay.
I got it. Yep.
It has been moved by the Councilor Hartmeyer Prigg and seconded by Councilor Teeter to adopt the resolution 4875 regarding the city's election to receive the state shared revenues. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Woohoo!
Okay. Recorder, we are ready for a vote. Would you please call the vote by roll?
Mayor Beatty?
Yes.
Counselor Tivnon?
Yes.
Counselor Teeter?
Yes.
Council President Kimmy?
Yes.
Counselor Hassan?
Yes.
Counselor Hartmeyer Prigg?
Yes.
Counselor Duggar? Motion
Yes.
carries. Oh, sorry. I am so sorry.
Thank you. We can now move on to the council new business portion of tonight's agenda. The final item on the agenda is council new business. Does anyone have anything they wish to share? Councilor Duggar?
Yeah, we heard some testimony tonight around the janitorial contract, and it dawned on me that if you guys remember, I thought the city's done really excellent work on the capital improvement lens that we look through. And from a policy perspective, I want to keep us at the policy level, but I was going to ask Jenny to maybe, we'd like to weigh in on the procurement process, particularly RFPs with our values, and so we can create a similar framework. I think that'd be a good discussion. I would be interested in having it if anyone else would, so we can kind of weigh in on what our priorities are for, similar to what we did with the capital budget.
Anyone
Do we
else?
need 4 thumbs up, or are we, you guys okay with that?
Is there consensus?
I think so.
You got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Councilor Hassan.
Thank you.
There's so many names here.
It's,
Okay.
it's a lot doing all the things, right?
Okay, yeah.
You're really missing that mayor today, aren't you? I just wanted to share really briefly. This is a little bit heavy, but important. We continue to see a lot of anti-insert marginalized communities, and I have been pulled into some of that in my own community, and I just want to kind of give you all visibility. I was checking in with one of my friends from the Jewish community, and they're seeing increased incidents, and we're working on trying to get folks to report. That is really, really hard. Underreporting is an issue. We're trying to make sure we're working with the chief as well in terms of having increased security presence in places. But just, as you're out and about, specifically with, I would say, Palestinian and Israeli communities specifically, there is a real fear and a lot of harm that's happening that's really behind the scenes. So just want to share that with you. It's been taking up quite a bit of my personal time, more than I'd like, and trying to get those folks to come to more elected spaces and share their experiences so that I don't have to carry that by myself. So, thanks.
Councilor Hartmeyer Prigg.
Thank you. I thank you for sharing that, Councilor Hassan. I know that we heard, I don't know how to describe Kate's message, right? But it is so important. And I think that our participation in the Pride Parade is one of our ways to say we're with you, to be visible to our community. And so I guess I would challenge us to do more where we can and where we're comfortable, right? I know that, to your point, there's a lot of people under attack right now, and not everyone has the privilege to speak up for their own fear of safety. But I have been talking with Shannon about our theme for the Pride Float. I'm hoping everyone's down to participate again, since Pride is We're All Made of Stars this year. Shannon and I were at a pickleball event together, and I was not directing her, I promise, city manager, but we were brainstorming about a float theme, and We're All Made of Stars made me think of Elton John's Star sunglasses, and she was also saying that pool floaties are a really good thing we could use easily, like take up space, and they're lightweight. And so we were thinking pink flamingos with star sunglasses should be our theme. So hope you're all okay with that.
I'll just jump in. I want to thank you. Like, June as a parent is like the hardest month to do the volunteering. So y'all have shown up every year, and I will follow you in the float, on the float, behind the float, whatever you want me to do, with as much as I'm able to give in this busy month.
Agreed.
Can I just take a moment of privilege here and offer some direction to the city manager, though, that you need to keep Councilor Hartmeyer-Preg off the float this year, and maybe let's get some staff and some bubble wrap out to help with this idea.
Anyone else who wants to make a comment or bring something? Good. All right, that concludes our meeting tonight.